Joy-Anna Duggar got remarried. Many may not know, but they got remarried almost a year ago, and today is their first wedding anniversary. And on the occasion of this wedding anniversary, Shweta surprised the new husband by telling about her pregnancy. The rest is discussed in detail in the video, so watch the complete video till the end. So let's start the video, but before that, one more thing. At first glance, the wedding of Jason Duggar and Maddie Grace might not seem particularly noteworthy, especially when compared to the previous elaborate nuptial celebrations that have come to define the Duggar family's public persona. Guests in attendance described the occasion as a fairly standard affair by Duggar standards, presumably devoid of any alcohol or attire deemed immodest, in line with the strict guidelines laid out by family patriarch Jim Bob Duggar. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly traditional event, there were some unexpected twists that reflected Jason's more rebellious spirit, setting this wedding apart from its predecessors. For starters, Jason's choice to have an ultra-short engagement raised eyebrows. Just 2 months after proposing, Jason and Maddie tied the knot, a decision that diverged significantly from the Duggars' typically lengthy courtship process. This quick transition into married life was only the beginning of Jason's departure from Duggar norms. Shortly after their wedding, news emerged that the couple had violated the family's code of conduct during their honeymoon in Greece, adding fuel to the fire of speculation about Jason's willingness to push boundaries. Perhaps it shouldn't have come as a shock then, that during their wedding celebration, Jason made a decision that challenged one of the family's long-standing traditions. He opened the dance floor to guests, something that is generally frowned upon at Duggar gatherings. This momentous choice was highlighted in a recent episode of the podcast hosted by his sister Jinger Duggar and her husband Jeremy Vuolo. They recounted how Jason and Maddie's wedding featured dancing, a rarity within their family's events, marking a significant departure from the typical Duggar festivities that often shun such expressions of joy and celebration. Jeremy humorously recounted the reaction of the DJ, who must have been taken aback by the sudden shift in atmosphere. According to him, after the couple's beautiful first dance and the subsequent daddy-daughter dance, the DJ was faced with an unexpected directive to open the dance floor. Guests were treated to an array of secular hits that added an unexpected vibrancy to the evening, including the now famous Cha-Cha Slide, which had the potential to both delight and confuse those accustomed to the more restrained celebrations of Duggar weddings past. Jinger noted that this change in tradition was significant not just for Jason and Maddie, but also for the family dynamic. While some of Jason's siblings had taken dance lessons in the past, dancing at family functions had largely been viewed as taboo. She remarked on the novelty of the experience, acknowledging how different it felt to see the dance floor come alive with energy and movement, a stark contrast to the more subdued atmosphere typically associated with Duggar events. This shift in tradition hinted at a broader evolution within the family, with Jason leading the charge toward a more relaxed and contemporary approach to celebrations. However, not everything has been smooth sailing for Jason in the early days of his marriage. Following the wedding, he found himself embroiled in legal troubles as a fellow Arkansas resident filed a lawsuit against him, related to a real estate deal that had reportedly gone awry. The implications of this legal issue are significant, especially considering the family's reputation for maintaining a certain level of decorum and respectability in the public eye. This predicament may well lead to strained relationships within the family, particularly with Jim Bob, who is known for his conservative values and strict adherence to traditional family principles. Given the combination of the unexpected dancing at the wedding and the subsequent legal troubles, one can't help but wonder how Jim Bob might react to these developments. It's not hard to imagine that he might have reservations about his son's new approach to life, particularly if it threatens to undermine the carefully crafted image that the Duggar family has cultivated over the years. After all, embracing secular music and dancing at a family wedding is a far cry from the rigid customs that have been upheld for so long. As Jason navigates the complexities of married life, he may have to weigh the importance of family loyalty against his desire for personal expression and freedom. The juxtaposition of these two worlds, one steeped in tradition and the other brimming with modernity, creates a fascinating dynamic that could have lasting implications for the Duggar family as a whole. For now, Jason's willingness to defy conventions may have shaken the foundations of the Duggar family ethos, but it also suggests a possible shift toward a more open and accepting family culture, one that embraces change and allows for individual expression. As he embarks on this new chapter of his life, the question remains: How will Jason balance his burgeoning independence with the expectations of a family that has long adhered to strict guidelines? Time will tell whether his rebellious spirit leads to greater freedom or further conflict within the Duggar clan. Joanna Duggar has always been one of the more cautious members of the Duggar family, remaining largely rooted in the strict rules and regulations that have shaped her upbringing. Known for her adherence to her family's conservative values, Joy has tended to avoid the more rebellious paths taken by some of her siblings. Yet, in a surprising twist, she recently decided to take a bold step in a different direction, one that revolved around her hair. Throughout her life, Joy has experimented with her hair on occasion. She's dabbled in highlights before, and even underwent a significant transformation when she chopped off several inches of her once-long locks. However, this latest endeavor marked a new chapter in her journey of self-expression. In a moment of spontaneity, Joy decided to embrace the idea of dyeing her hair using box dye, a choice that felt particularly daring given her family's historical hesitance towards such decisions. In many ways, this desire to dye her hair is reflective of a more adventurous spirit, albeit still carefully measured by Joy's standards. The decision wasn't made lightly. Joy took to social media to document the entire process, sharing her thought process with her followers. She explained her motivation with a playful nod to popular culture, quoting phrases like "you only live once" and "girls just want to have fun." However, as she proceeded with the application of the dye, it quickly became clear that the outcome wasn't quite what she had envisioned. After the transformation, Joy's reaction was filled with disappointment, and she candidly expressed feelings of regret. She described how she had anticipated a fresh and exciting change, only to be met with results that left her nearly in tears. While the darker color suited her in a way, her response suggested that she felt she had made a drastic leap from her natural dishwater blonde to a much darker hue. To her, the shift felt monumental, even if, to an outside observer, it might not have seemed as severe as she believed. She's dabbled in highlights before, and even underwent a significant transformation when she chopped off several inches of her once-long locks. However, this latest endeavor marked a new chapter in her journey of self-expression. In a moment of spontaneity, Joy decided to embrace the idea of dyeing her hair using box dye, a choice that felt particularly daring given her family's historical hesitance towards such decisions. In many ways, this desire to dye her hair is reflective of a more adventurous spirit, albeit still carefully measured by Joy's standards. The decision wasn't made lightly. Joy took to social media to document the entire process, sharing her thought process with her followers. She explained her motivation with a playful nod to popular culture, quoting phrases like "you only live once" and "girls just want to have fun." However, as she proceeded with the application of the dye, it quickly became clear that the outcome wasn't quite what she had envisioned. After the transformation, Joy's reaction was filled with disappointment, and she candidly expressed feelings of regret. She described how she had anticipated